the blood. He parts the Red Sea. He also killed every firstborn of the Egyptians. So he's got blood on his hands. You know, he was born with the massacre of the innocents. Pharaoh's killing all the firstborn when he was firstborn of the Hebrews. But then Moses confronts Pharaoh, and he kills all the firstborn of the Egyptians, and he kills their cattle. Well, how the fuck did Moses do that? And then Pharaoh, his heart was hardened. That still didn't convince Pharaoh to let the Jewish people, the Hebrews, go, the slaves. I know you just somehow killed every firstborn in our nation, but I'm still going to hold on to the slaves. That makes no fucking sense. The locust, he just had this, grasshoppers all over the place. The 10 plagues. Cain and Abel. Let's talk a little bit about Cain and Abel. So, Cain and Abel, right? It's just basically a silly, jealous story. Do you really need Cain and Abel to teach you a jealousy story? Because we have a lot of examples throughout history. Just Sassacus and Uncas. So, Uncas is going to be the Pequot. Sassacus is the leader of the Pequot. Uncas was, they had a father, Tatobim. Tatobim dies, and now you got a power dynamic. Once Tatobim had died, now Uncas says, I get to lead the Pequot. And then Sassacus says, no, I get to lead the Pequot. Sassacus wins, and at first it seemed like that it was going to be okay, but then Uncas was sick of the shit, and he takes a part of the Pequot, and he creates the Mohegans. And then during the Pequot War, he's going to conquer the Pequot. So you don't need goddamn made up bullshit. Because when it comes to Cain and Abel, you want to sit there and put a bunch of shit on Cain and Abel? Well, why did God want people to burn the lamb and not burn the crops? Why are you burning any of the damn food? People are fucking hungry. You're going to try to honor the gods by fucking sacrificing a goddamn sheep, not just an adult sheep, but a baby sheep? And then how sick are motherfuckers? They're like, all right, everybody, here's a baby sheep. We're just going to light it on fire, and we're just going to watch it burn. Yeah, no thank you. No fucking thank you. I don't want you sacrificing any of those things. If you had a feast of, meat, that would make sense. A feast of vegetables, I could see why you would approve of the meat over the vegetables, but I could see why you would approve the vegetables over the meat. I could see them both. Seems like a fair God would support both meat and vegetables, but it's not a feast. It's just burning it for the fucking burning it. What kind of piece of shit God needs you to fucking burn something on earth just to honor him? Well, you know what I'd like for you to do to honor me? Yeah, for a birthday. Does anybody during their birthday say, you know what I want? I don't know. You want some Chinese? You want to go on a roller coaster? You want to go parachuting? Now, I want you to burn a sheep in front of me. And then I could be like, I approve. And then because I approve of the sheep burning, but not of the vegetables burning, I'm going to create a jealous rift. Another Native American story is you got the Shawnee and you got the Delaware, the Lenape. And they used to be one tribe. The Shawnee looks at the Lenape as the grandfather tribe. So the Shawnee and the Lenape, a.k.a. the Delaware, used to be one single tribe. Well, what happened? Well, they argued over a damn grasshopper. They argued over a damn grasshopper. And so what happened with this grasshopper? Well, you had a dead grasshopper. The boys were fighting over the dead grasshopper. That's mine. No, that's mine. You found that dead grasshopper on my territory, on my land. It was closer to me. Well, I found it first, and this isn't your land. This is the common land. And they fought back and forth, and then eventually they started really fighting, and then the other kids jumped in, and then the mothers jumped in, and then the warriors came back, and they saw this big old fucking fight, and then they jumped in. And then 20 years later, they're still fucking fighting. What did it begin over? A damn dead grasshopper. So we are very fickle people. We don't need much to get each other's anger and jealousy. We don't need no fucking Cain and Abel story. We don't need no Adam and Eve. When it comes to Adam and Eve, I'd love to find the proto Adam and Eve. Let's talk about man, the beginning of man. So 50,000 years ago, we burst out of Africa. You had that Lucy skeleton, was 2 million years old. You got Kennewick Man. And then you have the Native Americans that came around 14,000 years ago. Well, that's a good beginning. Let's talk about the origin of man. The Noah and the flood, then God wanted to kill everybody. And he saved one fucking family. They were building that damn ark and then people laughed at them. But lo and behold, they had a big flood and they were spared. They were okay. So much dumb shit. There's so much dumb shit. The tree of knowledge of good and evil. How come God would banish somebody from eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil? You ever come across a tree of knowledge of good and evil? And then you're not allowed to eat from it? That sounds like some fucking priest saying, hey, I get all the wisdom, you just follow me. I get to know all the knowledge, and then I get to do the judgment and analysis, and you just believe whatever bullshit I fucking tell you. So when Candace says that she's going to get away from the cult of science, well, she's a flat earther now, right? Is the earth round? Is it flat? She doesn't know. What she does know is she's not going to join in with the cult of science. If you haven't concluded that the earth is round, you haven't really made many conclusions in your goddamn life. You need to make a lot more fucking conclusions. You need to make a lot more conclusions. This isn't just the Matrix. This isn't all fictional. This isn't all just a hologram. This isn't just a, what do they call that? A fake simulation. This is all real. This is all real. I am a man, I'm in a room, and I am speaking English. All that is fucking real and true. What else does the fucking Old Testament tell us? What other bullshit fucking myths do you believe? Joseph, we're going to sell Joseph into slavery, and then he's going to become the Pharaoh's number 2. Why'd they sell Joseph into slavery? Because he had that beautiful coat. He was his father's favorite. And then when he's Pharaoh's number 2, then his brothers come back again, and then they start crying, and he's like, I forgive you, brothers. Well, that's a big fucking jump. What happened that made Joseph to the slave to be fucking Pharaoh's number 2? That's a big jump, is it not? I bet he had to go through some trial and tribulations. And it's not just Cain and Abel and Seth. How come nobody ever talks about Seth? And no, not Seth Rogen, but Seth, Cain and Abel, Adam and Eve. Sodom and Gomorrah, Samson. You know who else fought a lion? Samson. Did fucking Samson fight a lion? Samson also shook the fucking foundation, the columns of the big fucking temple of the Philistines. And it came crashing down. And it killed 3,000 Philistines. Almost like 9/11. 3,000 people died on 9/11. Samson killed 3,000 Philistines by taking a hold of the columns. You're telling me that if you see a fucking temple, you can just grab the columns and then, were they not made of fucking goddamn concrete? Were they just made of sticks? This concrete is not very, these columns are not very strong now, are they? The 10 Commandments. If there's anything that is decent out of the Old Testament, I'll say the 10 Commandments. Now, I like Jesus. I think Jesus is a good beginning. There's a new beginning. Why do we have to keep on quoting the Old Testament? There's some good shit in Proverbs. There's some good Psalms. Ezekiel's pretty passionate, but God's a fucking evil, wicked, fucking genocidal bastard, is he not? Tells Moses to just keep on committing genocide over and over again. Hey, God, what do you want me to do? Commit genocide? Okie dokie. That's what God told me. So see, Abraham and Isaac. Abraham's a sick fuck when it comes to his daughters, right? So there's sexual assault. Abraham committed sexual assault with his daughters and then almost physically assaulted him. He ties Isaac up and he's about to murder him. And then God's like, nah, just fooling everybody. Just a little joke I was playing on you. I was testing your loyalty. So I guess that's, in order to love God, you got to throw your kids in the fucking garbage. In order to truly love God, you got to throw your kids in the garbage. You better murder. If I tell you to murder your kids, you better do it. If you obey God, then you'll do what I tell you.